Hi, I'm Reil, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about a recent experience I had submitting a screenplay to like a screenplay editor, but it's not a screenplay, it's like a coverage. I can't remember exactly the term for it, but I thought since, okay, so I'm trying to write Elf Mastery here into like a cartoon. And so I started trying to learn how to write scripts so I can go online and, you can figure out things like the formatting and stuff like that. But I don't actually know anybody that works with or uses scripts or knows much about that sort of thing. So I thought when I was done, I'd just submit it to these guys at WeScreenPlay because it's a lot cheaper than like a professional editor. And I was impressed. I actually did it twice to two different places. Both were good. The second one, though, had more specific detail. So I just thought it'd be interesting to take a look at that in case any of you guys are out there interested what sort of feedback and stuff you can get. So let me just pull it up. So this is the PDF that they gave me back. So you can see here that my original submission was at 42 pages, but I'd listed it as a 30-minute show as a pilot. And so that's a problem. So when you're writing a script, each page roughly translates to a minute of screen time. And that's not exact for each page, but it's like an overall average. So, a page that has a lot of action sequences might take more than a minute, but a heavy dialogue page will be faster than a minute. So in general, they'll say it's about a minute per page. And so that was kind of one of the things that came up a lot in this, is that he's saying, hey, you got too much stuff. You got to cut out a bunch of things. So my rating was a pass, but only 48th percentile. So, not a great percentile, but the details and feedback he gave were really specific. And I thought it was really good, actually. So, and this and the other review I got, both were good with, we like the characters, we like the story, like way too wordy, which if you know me, that's completely a legitimate criticism. But this one I think was very much more specific because instead of speaking in general terms, you can see that he or she, actually, I don't know, talks about specific pages. Like, how about in this lines you said this, but why don't you add information about this or this or this? I'm not going to read through it all, but I thought that was really good feedback. I'll just read the opening thought. So while the story harks on universal themes of wanting to belong and new beginnings, the writer tends to rely on too much dialogue to reveal characters and misses great opportunities to show us who all the unique and quirky characters are while painting the picture of this fantastical world. So, and I think the reason that probably happens is because I much prefer writing dialogue to scene description. I like keeping my scene descriptions brief. And there's a reason for that. And this person actually touches on that as well. And I think so did the other one. But this one gives me some good details that I want to talk about in a different video. But yeah, so I could see that. I'm like, okay, I do tend to really like dialogue, and it probably goes on way too long. Even me explaining this is probably going on way longer than it needs to. So that's a legitimate criticism. And they go through here just some more examples. So going, kind of does a synopsis of the plot, but saying, it's not clear, so we have Kylo leaving home, but it's not exactly clear why she's doing or what the repercussions would be if she has to go back. But most of the criticism just has to do with the structure and the length. And so down here where we would look at dialogue, it says you have several lengthy monologues that you may want to consider condensing or breaking up with physical action. For example, the exchange on page 22 with Kyla's line that arrives after Aura's lengthy speech would be funnier if Aura's speech was shortened. And so I went through 42 pages. I've cut it down to 31. So I think strictly speaking, I'd want to cut out one more. But I did send it back to this same person for review just to see if they felt like I'd made an improvement. So I shortened it, but I also changed some of the elements they've been talking about. Another thing they talk about, and I want to make a whole video about this because I have a scientific study to kind of support this that I've been wanting to talk about. But this kind of just clinched it for me in that, it's right at the very end. You need to keep blocked action to 3 lines per block max. When blocks are more than 3 lines, it makes it difficult for the reader to visualize the picture. And that's this thing I want to talk about. So I have a study to back this up that I've been meaning to talk about at another time, maybe next video. They too talk about some minor editing issues as well. But so basically their final thoughts, they give me a grade in a few different categories. So how successfully does the pilot set up a uniquely entertaining and sustainable series? Does the setup provides an engaging and unique element? The idea needs some shaping, but there's real potential. So course, it needs some work, and that's perfectly what I would have expected. But got some good ideas there. Does this script feel like it fits current programming on network, cable, or streaming television? They say the script is well poised to land on cable or a streaming service. So probably not network programming. But again, that's something I'd expect because I feel it's kind of a niche story as opposed to maybe like a broad target audience. How is the script's format, grammar, and spelling? The script has a few typos, formatting, or grammatical issues, but overall looks professional. So that was just me kind of like learning online how to write a script and everything like that. But there's still some things I needed to work on. So it was really interesting. I'll try to follow up when I get the new one back, just so we can do a comparison on how I scored on this one. And then I fixed it, and we'll see how I score on the next one. And I'd also like to talk about this descriptive blocks. Okay, anyways, that's it for today. Have a wonderful evening.